Hey, who wants some free stuff? All right, hold on. Who wants a March for Life beanie? Go ahead, go. Take a seat. All right, hold on. I am a generation that will abolish abortion. Here, pass these back. All right, everybody have a seat, have a seat. Give it up for my son, Jameson. All right, guys. Like I said, my name is Bryan Kemper. I run Stand True. Some of the t-shirts I threw out, the one I'm wearing, available in our booth in the expo. Make sure you guys go through the expo. Lots of good stuff in there. You know, I was sitting with my son in Mass on Sunday, and one of the readings was about Samuel and Eli. Who went to Mass Sunday? Yeah. Do you guys remember that reading, right? Right. I hope so. You were paying attention. You weren't sleeping or napping. Anyway, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the March for Life and the youth rally and all the young people that come to the March for Life. When I first started coming to the March for Life, in the early 90s, it was mostly old people. Now, God bless our old people. You know, we love our pro-life grandmas, right? Yeah. But now, it's a youth march, really. It really is a youth march. And I was thinking about young Samuel. Samuel was a youngster, okay? He was very young. And he was studying under Eli, the high priest. And when Samuel heard, "Come to me," he thought it was Eli calling him. And 3 different times, Samuel went, and Eli said, no, I didn't call you, go back to bed. But then Eli realized it was the Lord speaking to Samuel. And he told him what to say. He said, to say, "Listen, I'm listening, I'm here, Lord." And then Samuel heard the call of the Lord. And I was thinking about that, and I know in my life, when I was younger, I have not always been a Christian. In fact, I used to be a drug dealer. I used to be a Satanist. I was involved in a lot of evil stuff. I've been 30 years clean of being a meth addict. But there were a lot, when I first came to the Lord, there were a lot of Eli's in my life that told me to listen to God. And a lot of men and women who spoke up to me, men like Father Meyer here, who I'm sure teaches you guys in your parish to listen to God and say, "God, what are you calling me to do? What are you having me do?" And then my boss, where's Father Frank? Father Frank Ravona, Priest for Life, my boss over here. Who, it's awesome because when I first came into the pro-life movement, you know, I had become a Christian, and I used to like think, where are all these Catholic people? Like, kind of freaked me out. I love that we have an ecumenical movement. I love that we all work together. But Father Frank used to sit down with me, and he didn't judge me. He didn't do anything. I had a big mohawk, and I looked a lot more crazy than I look now. And he would just sit there and talk to me, and it was because of that 6 years ago I came home to the Catholic Church. So it's been awesome. But it was that love. It was that love. It was the doctor in the hospital when I overdosed at a Grateful Dead Bob Dylan concert in 1987. And I was so whacked out on LSD and crystal meth and all the stuff I took that day. And I'm in the hospital and I'm almost dead. And a doctor in a hospital says, "I want to talk to you." He didn't come out and said, "You're bad, you're a drug addict, you're evil, you're going to hell." He just looked at me and says, "God loves you. He has more for you. You have value." No one in my life had ever told me I had value. But that doctor just loved me enough to risk his job, to take me outside, and to teach me about the love of God. And that saved my life. And I am so thankful for people to do that. And I'm so thankful for this movement that is about saving lives. See, we're not just about being angry about abortion. We're angry because our fellow human being, these little images of God, these little babies, they're image bearers of God, are being killed every day. And it's our love that's going to end it. It's our love that's going to save their lives. Because anybody that might be marching on the other side, anybody that might be there protesting against us, they're just as valuable as you and I. They're just as important as anybody in here. I think that's what the problem in this world today is. There's so many people just think they're better than other people. We're not better than anyone else. That's God's job. He created us all equal in his image. And we need to love every single person. And I'll tell you, in this movement, I think is where you find the most love. In these crisis pregnancy centers, in these homes for unwed mothers, in all of these places where you see the people standing up against the killing of innocent children. It's that love that saves lives. I've been doing pro-life activism for over 25 years. I have gone to jail for praying in front of abortion clinics. I've been to 49 states and 28 countries, spreading the message and spreading the word. I'm blessed beyond compare. Absolutely blessed. And in May, I get to do a 10-day speaking tour in New Zealand and Australia. And I'm so excited to go spread the message of love there in life. But there was a story I was thinking about when Jeannie told me the theme of love saves lives. It was a simple story about a friend of mine. And he called me. I was living in Wisconsin, in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a diehard Packers fan. And it was around Thanksgiving time. And my friend, his name is Jeff, he was a professor at Franciscan University of Steubenville a few years later. But my friend Jeff, he called me and said, Bryan, my brother, his girlfriend's pregnant, but she's going to have an abortion the day after Thanksgiving. This was the day before Thanksgiving. She's going to have an abortion. And he's like, will you and Matt and Will, my two roommates, will you come to Pittsburgh for Thanksgiving dinner at my house and then try to talk to her and her family? So we loaded up the car, drove through the night, got there, and on Thanksgiving Day we went first to her house. And we knocked on the door and we said, Mr., and I'm not going to say names, can we just talk to you? We want to talk to you about the beauty of your grandchild. And he just cursed at us and slammed the door. We found out what church she went to, so we went to her pastor's house and said, we want to talk to you about what's going on. This is the father of the child. And he wants to raise his child. And the pastor said, no, the best thing for her is abortion. Pastor! And we were just heartbroken. And we just wanted to love this woman enough to share with her that God loved her and that baby, and that the father of that baby wanted to keep that baby. So we found out which abortion mill that she was going to go to the day after Thanksgiving in Pittsburgh. There was 2 big abortion mills. So we found out, and we got there about 2 hours before the abortion mill opened. And we took about a 5-block radius of Pittsburgh and around this abortion mill, and we just sidewalk chalked messages of love. I'll just make up a name, Michelle. And we said, Michelle, God loves you. Michelle, we love you. Michelle, we can help you. Please, Michelle. And we did 5 blocks. The Pittsburgh police and fire department showed up. They were waving billy clubs at us, screaming at us to stop chalking, threatening us. And we said, we have every right to do this. We have every right to do this. We know that a human being is scheduled to die today. And we have an opportunity to love them enough to stand up and be there for them. Woo! And so we did that. And then we got a phone call. We were at the wrong abortion mill. So we got in the car and we drove to the other abortion mill as fast as we can. And as we got there, we saw Michelle and her father walking towards, and so I stood in front of the door with my friend. And as we pleaded with him, and he grabbed me and threw me to the ground, the father, and shoved her in that abortion mill. And she ended up having that abortion. And we were crying, and we just thought we did everything we could. But then we got another phone call. And it was from the sidewalk counselor at the other abortion mill. There was another Michelle. And when she walked up and she saw that message, Michelle, God loves you, she broke down and she ran to the sidewalk counselor and she kept her baby. And a life was saved. be willing when someone calls to say, yes, I'm listening. What can I do, Lord? What can I do? Now, tomorrow is the march. And tomorrow you're going to celebrate with 500,000 people that stand up for life. And I know people are going to be chanting, and you're going to listen to Plum. You guys know Plum's doing a signing at 4 o'clock right over here, by the way, if you want to meet them. But listen, the March for Life is an amazing once-a-year event that I go to every year, and I've been involved with the march, and I always will. But the most important message, the most important thing that you can take home is this is not a once-a-year thing. Babies are dying every day. And I'm begging you to go home, be like Samuel, and look to God and say, I'm listening, God. Listen, guys, whoever's in this priest parish, you are so blessed to have a man like this speak into your lives. My parents weren't Christians. My parents gave me pornography and drugs. Nobody's spoken in my life like that. Take this seriously. Take this seriously. And when you go to that march tomorrow, cry out to God. Stop and pray before you march and say, God, how can you use me for the